He's the master. His breadth and depth of knowledge of endocrine is truly amazing.
Oh, without question, I think they would say he is one of the top pediatric endocrinologists.
John's stamp has been on every aspect of the molecular basis of growth disorders. And it's in that arena that his contributions have been monumental. Everybody who had the opportunity to work with him would feel the same way. At the time I completed my fellowships, the pediatric endocrine community was still a relatively small community. John was already a luminary, and I would see him at meetings. Over the years, our interests more and more dovetailed, and then eventually we began to work together as members of Lilly's Genesis Advisory Board, where John eventually became the chair of that board.
Well, I actually knew of John probably since about 1990, and that was primarily through his publications about growth hormone receptor mutations. But it actually wasn't until 2002 that I had a chance to interact with John closely through the International Scientific Advisory Board of Genesis. And it was an interaction that has lasted over 14 years, much to my benefit.
I've known Dr. Parks for probably 30 years. I first met him when I was a pediatric resident back in the mid-'80s. He was the pediatric endocrinologist at Emory, and I remember him talking about a patient, and it was like a door opened. The way he thought about patients clinically, how he pulled in all the research that's known about a disorder and integrated it into this wonderful puzzle. It was really amazing. And I knew at that time I wanted to be part of a field where you looked at medical problems that way.
It always was a pleasure to work with him. He always had about him an air of politeness, of courtesy, of consideration.
He's funny. He may think he's funnier than he actually is. He loves puns. He's just a delight for everyone to work with.
He's a man of many facets. He's a sportsman, be it on a bike, be it Nordic walking, be it hiking in the tropics. He's always ready to go.
This haiku was written by a member of our Pediatric Endocrine Division. I think it sums up why Dr. Parks deserves a Lifetime Achievement Award. Intellectual, consummate professional, a mentor to all.
One of the most important things for me, why I consider John to be one of my mentors, is that he's always been able to juggle the four hats. The hat of excellent clinician, the hat of inspired researcher, the hat of teacher and advisor, and finally the hat of administrator. And I think John has done all that, and he's done it well.
One needs to recognize that John's reach scientifically, clinically, extends well beyond the United States. It's worldwide. There is no question in my mind that John is absolutely the most appropriate recipient of this year's Lifetime Award.